Welcome back to the Road to 237. This is episode 2. So kind of following our standard format, we'll kick off today with a recap of what the past week of running was for me, give you a preview of what next week will look like, and then I've got some special topics that we'll cover every week as well. This week I'll give you a little bit of insight as to the shoes that I'm running in currently. So recapping the prior week, first week post-marathon running, so kind of a reverse taper concept, just getting some easy miles in to start getting back up to normal mileage. This week for me was about 35 miles in total. Really easy run on Monday, just 2.5 to 3 miles. I did a bagel run to run down with our local bagel shop for a quick collaboration that was really fun. Then progressively getting a little bit longer throughout the week, 4, 5, 6, 7 miles, and then a long run today of 10 miles. I think that a couple weeks ago that was considered a short run for me, and today 10 miles was a long run, but it was great to get it back in. I threw in some lifting on Thursday. That's something I'm going to be trying to be a bit more consistent about, is just keeping the legs strong, doing some calf raises where I've cramped in the past, keep my hamstrings as strong as possible. So not intense sessions, but just something to kind of keep that going. The rest of this week then, I had a couple key nutrition deliveries coming in for some supplements that I use on a pretty regular basis. And lots of pool time and dadding with the family. So lots of good fun all around. Next week, again, kind of continuing the reverse taper concept where I'll be doing no workouts, but increasing the mileage, going from that 30, 35 up to 45 or 50 or so. So getting close to normal weekly mileage for me, which is typically closer to 60 miles a week. I will start bringing in some striders though. So striders are short, fast segments of running. For me, it's going to be probably 6 or so 15-second segments. And when I say fast running, kind of the idea behind this is you start at your long run pace or slower even, and you gradually build up over that 15 seconds until you get to a point where you're running mile pace, maybe a little faster even. You're only going to hold that for a couple seconds, and then you start to decelerate immediately and get right back down to that long run or slower pace. And that would be one strider. Great to do them on the run if that's where they fit in, but a lot of people, it's great to add a little bit of extra mileage. You can go find a soccer field or any open field and do it on the grass. I know a lot of people that take their shoes off to do it, kind of challenges the foot a little bit differently. So some fun ways to do that, but a really easy way to kind of mix up your run and get some intensity in for otherwise easy run. So big fan of adding those back in kind of that second week post race to get into that reverse taper concept there. Next week as well, a preview of the special topic that I'll be covering is a little bit more about spring and summer plans leading into my fall marathon. Just hoping to give some perspective on why and how I'm going to be racing a bit more, so that if that's something that you might want to consider in your own training, you can take some of those concepts and apply them. There is a good training philosophy here that you can work on faster running, incorporate some speed sessions regularly, but have a dedicated speed block leading into a longer distance race. Long distance runners need to be fast too. If you look at world record marathon runners, their marathon pace is often faster than many of our mile pace even. So definitely got to be fast. Having a dedicated speed block can really help build up your systems to be able to help you do that. So this week I wanted to highlight a shoe that's in my rotation right now and has been for about a year or so. This is the Saucony Triumph RFG. The RFG stands for Run for Good. And they call it that because it's a more eco-friendly shoe than your traditional running shoe. This shoe is made with a 55% corn-based foam. The upper here is cotton and it is dyed with all plant-based dyes. And the rubber outsole is 80% natural rubber versus synthetic. So, a little way to reduce your carbon footprint when you're picking out a running shoe. I have found this shoe to be as good as the standard Triumph. No major difference, so I don't think they've sacrificed anything in terms of quality or performance when coming up with this version versus the traditional Saucony Triumph. This shoe in my rotation is kind of a recovery run, easy run shoe for me. It's not something that I'm running fast in. It's not something that I'm using as a long run shoe, though I know a lot of people do. This is also not a full shoe review, by the way. I may look at posting a full shoe review. This is just to give a little perspective on what I'm wearing and again, give you some ideas on what you might want to consider in your rotation. So again, easy day recovery run shoe. A lot of people use it as a long run shoe. I like it because it has a lot of cushion compared to what I typically wear. I usually wear a less cushion, more responsive shoe. So when my legs are feeling a little bit beat up, or if I'm looking for, those slower miles with some fluff on your legs, I guess, this is a great shoe to go to. It is a neutral support shoe, and it's cushioned with Saucony's Power Run PB foam, and again, 55% corn-based foam. So a nice cushioned ride for those easier recovery miles. It is kind of heavy, which again is why I'm not using it for speed work or even for long runs. When you look at what this might weigh in compared to a daily trainer like a Hoka Mach 6 that I typically wear, it is going to be on the heavier side, but it is in that neutral support category. And overall, I think it's built for comfort. It's not necessarily something that Saucony would even recommend that you wear for speed. I have done striders in it though, and it holds up fine. Again, it's just those longer distances. I'm not doing repeats or anything like that. It does fit true to size for me. Overall, a really good recovery day shoe that I would recommend giving some consideration to. And as you think about just rotating shoes in general, research shows it's good to have a couple different shoes in your rotation. Having a couple different shoes is shown to reduce injury. So good to have that rotation. Also good to have shoes that are good for or better suited for different aspects of running. And I don't know any runner that won't say no to a new pair of shoes. So there's that aspect too. So thanks for listening, joining us on episode 2 of the Road to 237. I hope you can join us next week. Again, next week we'll be going over a bit more on speed blocks and how I'm kind of thinking about spring and summer training going into a fall marathon.